grammar lesson for the movie course Midnight in Paris. At the party, when Adriana told Hemingway that she thinks both he and Belmonte are perfect, Hemingway said, "But he has more courage. He faces death more often and more directly. And if you chose him, I'd be disappointed, but I'd understand." That's right. Today I'm going to be talking about comparisons. We can use comparatives to talk about similarities and differences between two things. We can use comparisons with adjectives, with verbs, with nouns, and also with past participles. Now we want to talk about the difference between two things. You can use comparisons with adjectives. Look at these examples. Being a telephone operator is greater than being a sales assistant. As you see, great is an adjective and greater is the comparative form. I find science more difficult than mathematics. Difficult is an adjective and more difficult is its comparative form. He's not as stupid as he looks. Stupid is an adjective. So you can use not as plus adjective plus as to use it in this sentence. She's twice as old as her sister. It means that she's 2 times older than her sister. So we can use x times as plus adjective plus as. My brother is half as tall as my dad. It means that my dad is 2 times taller than my brother. So you can say that my dad is twice as tall as my brother. So we can say half as, adjective, as. Please note that English has a few adjectives whose comparative and superlative forms are irregular. 2 of these adjectives are far and old. If you use farther as the comparative form of far, you should use it to talk about distance. If you use further as the comparative form, you should use it to talk about distance and time. And you can use it in sentences to mean more or extra. Old also have 2 comparative forms. Older is used for people and things. Elder is used for people and family. Have a look at these examples. How much farther is it to the airport? As you see, here farther shows the distance. Call your local library for further information. Further information means extra information. Read a little further and it will begin to make sense. Read a little further means read a little more. They try to help older people to stay as healthy as possible. So we use older for people. There are now lots of Bluetooth devices made for older cars. So we have used older for things. Her elder brother is a freelance architect. As you see, we have used elder for a family member. We can also use comparisons with verbs. Have a look at these examples. A secret agent travels more than a police officer. An interior decorator doesn't earn as much as an architect. You can also say, An interior decorator doesn't earn as well as an architect. I travel twice as much as most of my friends. It means that I travel 2 times more than most of my friends. So you can say twice as much as or twice as many as. So as you see, travel, earn, and travel again are all verbs. We can also use comparisons with nouns. Have a look at these examples. Landscapers need less education than veterinarians. Less, noun, than. Now doctors have shorter work hours and better work-life balance. Shorter, noun. Better, noun. I want to receive as much information as possible in a wide range of areas. As much, noun, as. Please note that because information is an uncountable noun, we have used much. But if you want to talk about a countable noun, for example, apples, then you should use many after as. So it would be as many apples as. For a woman to get half as much credit as a man, she has to work twice as hard. Again, as you see, half as much, noun, as. This mug holds half again as much coffee as the smaller one. It means that this mug holds 1.5 points more coffee than the smaller one. Please note that half again as much or half again as many is American English, but half as much again or half as many again is British English. We can also use comparisons with past participles. Look at these examples. Landscapers are less educated than veterinarians. Teachers are not as well paid as architects. As you see, educated and paid are past participles. Now we want to talk about the similarity between two things. Use these expressions to show similarity between things. As, the same as, like, or similar to. Look at these examples. I find science as difficult as mathematics. A travel agent earns as much as a police officer. He's the same age as me. Thai food is similar to Cambodian food. Anna looks like her father. We can also use some expressions to modify comparisons. You can use these expressions to show a big difference. Much, a lot, far. Sales in July were much higher than sales in June. She's a lot taller than you. This one's far more expensive than the blue one. Use these expressions to talk about a small difference. Slightly, a little, a bit, not much. Sales in July were slightly higher than sales in June. She's a bit taller than you. This one's a little more expensive than the blue one. These are not much more expensive than those. Use these expressions when you want to imply that there is no difference or the difference is not noticeable. Exactly, more or less, roughly. He's exactly the same age as me. The figures for December are more or less the same as the figures for November. He's roughly the same height as me. Okay, well, it's all for today. Now it's over to you. Please practice using comparisons in the sentences in the exercises provided for you in the lesson. To get more information about the courses, please visit www.clickenglishschool.com.